Today I'm going to tell you the best 5 income streams that will help you make a living as a music producer. These income streams are income streams that I've used in the past, and most of them I'm actually using in the present, and they help me get to where I'm at nowadays living off of music. Take in mind that most of them might be overwhelming at the start, and it will take a bit of time for you to be able to make some money out of it, but if you stay consistent, just like anything else in life, I'm sure it's going to work for you. I'm including a bonus tip at the end of this video, which is the income stream that I'm making the most money with at the moment, so stay tuned. Yo, welcome back to the channel, guys, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Come on, yeah. Let's waste no more time on this intro and jump into the first income stream. Number 1 that I chose for this was mixing and mastering services. I think this is one of the most common ways to make money off of music producing, and if you are a producer or sound engineer, this can definitely work out for you. There are a few ways that you can approach this, one of them being creating content online and, exposing yourself and trying to get some clients that way. You can also go to freelancer platforms like Fiverr and Upwork and so on that will help you create your portfolio as a music producer or sound engineer and then get clients that way. In my personal experience, I tried both ways, and the one that I ended up choosing was creating content. I was on Fiverr a few years ago and I felt like there were too many people trying to sell services. Most of them were not that good, and the actual prices that were being practiced right there were really low, which made it hard to charge an honest amount of money for my time of working. However, it might not have worked for me back then, but it could be a nice option for you. The other way, which is the content creation way, was the way I chose for myself. By content creation, I mean posting some content on social media, for example, like TikTok, Instagram, and so on. This can be anything entertaining or educational about music production. That's the way I did it, and after a long time posting videos, I ended up blowing up, and that's how I got the most of my clients today. I'll leave the link to my socials down in the description if you want to check them out. I'd say there's even a third option that will allow you to make money as a mixing and mastering engineer, which is to locally get your clients. So try and go around and spread the word at your neighborhood, in your local town, and that way you might be able to get a few clients that are actually locals, and it might be easier that way because you're able to be physically present with the clients, and it will probably facilitate that producer-client relationship. The next one we're going to be looking at is ghost producing. I'm sure most of you have heard of it, and all things aside, ghost producing, even though it might not be the most ethical thing in the world, it's still a reality. I tried this out myself a few years ago, and I was able to make a bit of money with it at the beginning of my career. It actually wasn't that bad of an experience. I'm sure a lot of people do a bunch of money by ghost producing, especially if you do it directly for other artists that are mainstream. The way I did it was to go on websites like House of Tracks or EDM Ghost Producer and try and sell my tracks there. I was doing EDM tracks at the time, like Future Bass and Future House, and I did ended up selling a few tracks. I believe that at the time I was making around $200 per track. It usually would go a bit lower than that, and it actually worked pretty great. The only downside to this is that I found it really creatively draining. So I was making a bunch of tracks for other producers or just DJs in general. Nothing out of it was being used for myself, which isn't necessarily a negative point because you're also learning a lot from making different genres and making a lot of music, but you don't get any royalties out of it, which kind of sucks. And if you're gonna drain your creativity for money, if you do intend to build a career as an artist, it's gonna be a bit difficult. So the second one wasn't really for me, or at least it isn't at the moment, but I still had a lot of fun doing it and it might work out for you. Next one on the list is to sell sample packs or vocal presets. This is one of the income streams that I'm using currently. It doesn't generate a ton of money because I wasn't able to build a nice amount of sample packs so far, and the vocal presets that I'm selling, which are the ones that make the most money, are actually being sold for quite low prices. This is because I only make the vocal presets for FL Studio, and I mostly don't use stock plugins, so it means that if you buy the vocal preset, you'll still need to buy a bunch of other plugins. However, I do intend to optimize all of this in the future and sell both sample packs and vocal presets for fair prices, and also try to extend them to every other DAW, and for most of them try to include stock plugins. So this way they will work out for pretty much any producer. So creating vocal packs and sample presets that other producers want is an amazing income stream. Make sure you make them in genres you like, make them as original as possible, and also with the best sample quality as possible. Promote these packs online or on social media, and in little to no time you can start making money out of this, even though if it's not a lot. However, if you do stay consistent and make products that people love, I'm sure this can become one of the best and most powerful income streams on your repertoire. Next one on the list is teaching classes or doing online courses. I myself have been doing this for the past 2 years, and it's been an amazing experience. I do one-on-one online classes where I teach my students how to produce music, do arrangements, process vocals, mixing, mastering, and so on. I also try and guide them to social media, try to help them build a career just like a mentor would, and it actually has been quite of an amazing journey. Luckily, I've had the opportunity to work with students around the globe, and this also allows me to build an instant connection and relationship with other producers. There's 2 ways you can go around it. You can teach one-on-one music classes or group classes, which will require you to spend direct time on it. It means that the time you're spending will be exchanged for money. However, there's a second option, which is to make online music courses, and for that option option, you only have to make them once. Let's say you take, for example, 1 to 2 weeks or a month to make one, and then you sell it for the next few years, and that will be generated that income stream that we all love. This is one of my favorite income streams at the moment. I love to see my students happy, and I'll also leave the link down in the description if you want to enroll in the program. Moving on, we have YouTube ad revenue. This is one of the income streams you've all heard about, and it might actually be one of the hardest ones. Becoming a successful YouTuber takes a long time and it requires a big investment. Not money-wise, but time-wise. You need to be really consistent, probably posting videos every week. You need to stay active on your community posts, translate this into social media so you can convert people from social media to YouTube, and so on. While it might be hard to make some money out of it, and especially make a living out of it, you should always consider to use this together with other income streams, so you don't only rely on YouTube. YouTube doesn't pay a huge amount of money per 1,000 views, but if you do have a decent amount of following, it could be an extra income stream to help you pay rent. There's a few tips and tricks that you can use to make this income stream bigger, which are going on live streams and be able to receive donations and memberships on the channel. You can also create a Patreon account where you have your followers or subscribers pay a monthly fee to access some of your work. Just make sure for this one you make exclusive content just for Patreon. YouTube might be a bit hard due to this being a small niche and there's a lot of competitors out there. However, if you do succeed, it's one of the best ways to create a loyal fan base. And by this I mean real fans that are actually going to follow you every single step you make and be willing to buy your products. The next one I included on this list was music gigs, which I'm pretty sure you all know about, and it's actually one of the fastest and immediate ways to make money off of music, but it also has its downside. So if you're an enthusiast artist and you love to perform, going out, touring on the world, this might be the perfect option for you because you can make a lot of money and actually real money by doing this, and it will allow you to get to know the world, get to know amazing people, and share your music with other people. By music gigs, I mean DJing or actually playing concerts, and if you actually get the word out there as an artist, you might be able to do a living just off of this income stream. The downside to this one is you might have to face anxiety at first, so you'll need to overcome that, stage fright, so you can go up there and play your music. It will probably, especially if you're a DJ, probably also take a lot of sleeping hours from your schedule, which might be hard to keep up with in the long run. And if you don't just play local gigs and you start touring around the world, you'll most probably get homesick and tired of all that jet lag from traveling around, but it's a price to pay if you really love playing live. I don't do this one at the moment because I got uninspired by the lack of music culture in my country, especially for the EDM genres, because I realized that what happens here in terms of music culture and interest in certain music and genres is money driven, which kind of cuts our legs as artists because we're going to be feeling like we need to do something to please the owners or the crowd when we should just be doing something that we love. Most recently, I kind of changed more into the pop and trap genres and stopped producing EDM as often, which also took me a bit away of that DJing world. And some of the reasons why I'm not pursuing that touring route as much is because I love to keep a sleep schedule routine, spending time with my family, and most importantly of all, working from the comfort of my own chair. Last one on the list is the bonus one, and it is content creation / sponsorships. I left this one for the bonus tip because it's the biggest income stream for me so far. Basically, what you need to know about sponsored content is that companies are willing to pay you to promote their own products. You can get paid to create and post those videos on social media, or they'll also offer affiliate links that you can use, and every time you sell a product for the company, you'll get a small percentage. This option works for long content as well as short content, so you can do it on YouTube with long content videos or also post shorts, TikToks, and Instagram Reels. There's two types of relationships that I created with companies so far. One of them is the company will ask you to create your own original idea about the product they have, and you'll make it and post it on your own social media. Or you can go the other route, which is to create a video for them that the company itself will post on their own channel. I've been actually loving to make videos this way, not only because it allows me to keep pursuing my music career by having more revenue for my project, but also because it leads me to experiment with new products that are actually crazy to include in my own music making. There's also a few downsides to this, and one of the biggest ones is that if the reason that you're posting this content is money driven solely, that it might end up hurting your channel. If you start doing a bunch of sponsored posts, all of a sudden your audience might not like it, and you can actually hurt the algorithm with that. So always make sure you love a product before you promote it, because if you don't do so, you're probably not going to be making a really nice video about it. And also your audience might not love the product, which could be a problem for you. If you end up going this route, make sure you make entertaining videos with smart ideas that are not too obvious about selling the product, but more about how your audience can use it to make better music or so on. Make the videos funny, entertaining, and make sure they have some value on it. And honestly, I can't stress out how crazy TikTok is for you to get sponsored posts. You can go viral today much easier than you could before because of the TikTok algorithm, and trust me that companies are out there looking at what you're doing. So stay consistent, make some content, and partnerships will sure come up soon. That was it for the video, guys. I hope this income list is valuable for you. There's obviously a ton of other income streams that you can use as a music producer or artist. One of them are royalties from your own music. I didn't include that one because I don't make a lot of money with it. I make around like $2 $20 per month, which is not enough for, you know, the usually amount of coffee I drink. And while that might be a really good income stream for you, I'd say that will come later in your career. Music platforms like Spotify don't pay that well to artists. If you want to get the most amount of money, you have to go solo, which means being an independent artist, which will make it much harder to succeed. If you go the label route, where the label posts the song for you and exposes it to a wider audience, then you might get bigger numbers, but the cutoff they will take from your payment will be huge. So before you get there, try to make the most amazing music and build your networking and relationships with other companies or artists, and I'm sure you're going to be able to include this one in your list of income streams. That was it for the video, guys. Myo here. Keep doing what you love, keep producing some music, and I'll see you around. Take care.